It was the Welsons' annual camping trip, and the two Welson daughters weren't too happy about it. Maria said, "Dad, do we have to go on the camping trip?"
Dad, do we have to go on a camping trip?
Megan said, "Yeah, Dad, do we have to go?"
Yeah, Dad, do we have to go?
Mr. Welson said, "Girls, you know that answer. Do I have to say it again?"
Girls, you know that answer. Do I have to say it again?
No.
Meanwhile, Mrs. Wilson was at home, glad to have the house to herself. Mrs. Wilson said, "I'm happy I'm alone. I'm happy I'm alone,
I'm happy alone.
but I'll miss them."
I miss you.
After 2 hours of the Welson girls complaining and Mr. Welson driving, they were finally there. Mr. Welson said, "All right, girls, we're here.
All right, girls, we're here.
Let's find a parking space."
Find a parking space.
Here we go.
Here we go.
Megan said, "Dad."
Dad.
Mr. Welson said, "Yeah, Megan?"
Yeah, Megan?
Megan said, "Well, how come everyone here has an RV and we only have a tent?"
How come everybody here has an RV and we only have a tent?
Mr. Wilson said, "That's because they don't have the camping spirit like we do."
That's because they don't have the camping spirit like we do.
Maria said, "Oh, brother."
Oh, brother.
Mr. Wilson said, "It's almost time to get out of the car.
Almost time to get out of the car.
Let's find a place to set up. Maria, you can pick."
Let's find a place to set up. Maria, you can pick.
Maria said, "How about over here?"
How about over here?
Megan said, "Yeah, that's a nice spot."
Yeah, that's a nice spot.
Mr. Wilson said, "Perfect. It's right near the lake."
Perfect. It's right near the lake.
It took the Welsons about an hour to set up. It was 6 o'clock and was starting to get dark. Mr. Wilson, Megan, and Maria were sitting near a fire eating fish. Megan said, "I'm bored."
I'm bored.
Maria said, "Me too."
Me too.
Mr. Wilson said, "All right, what about a story?"
All right, what about a story?
Maria said, "How about the tortoise and the hare?"
How about the tortoise and the hare?
Megan said, "I love that story."
I love that story. Read it, please.
Mr. Wilson said, "Okay, only if you let me tell my version of it."
Okay, only if you let me tell my version of it.
Both girls said, "Okay."
Okay.
And now the story begins. Long ago lived a tortoise named Tori. She was very slow, but always got to her destination. Tori lived in a house built from rocks. Next door lived a hare named Homer. He was the fastest in the town. He lived in a log cabin. Every first weekend of July, the townspeople had a special weekend with all activities. This year, no one knew what to do. Finally, they decided that they should have a race. When the hare heard about the race, he told everybody he was going to win.
I'm gonna win.
Tori heard what the hare said about winning, and she wasn't happy. So Tori went to Homer and told him how she felt.
I don't like when you're saying that you're going to win, because what if someone else wins? And that's not fair to someone.
The hare just laughed and laughed and laughed right in Tori's face. Tori ran home crying and saying she wouldn't go to the race.
I'm going to the race.
Tori decided to have a change of heart and come to the race anyway. Homer and Tori were still very mad at each other, but they decided the only way to find out who the real winner was to race each other. Everybody started stretching and getting ready for the race. The race was 2 miles long around the whole town. They were all ready for the race. On your mark, get set, go! Homer ran as fast as he could, and Tori went at her slow pace. Homer grew tired and saw a tree and lay down. She took a short nap, thinking Homer slept a long time. By no time at all, Tori was tiptoeing past him, making sure not to wake him up. When Homer woke up, Tori was already at the finish line. Homer said sorry to Tori.
I'm sorry for being so mean.
It's okay. Friends?
As Mr. Wilson finished the story, he looked at the girls and said, "Do you know the moral of the story?"
Do you know the moral of the story?
Both girls said, "I do."
I
Mr. Wilson said, "Okay, what is it?"
Okay, what is it?
do. Slow and steady wins the race.
Mr. Wilson said, "Very good, girls. Time to go to bed."
Very good, girls. Time to go to bed.
Both girls said, "Okay, good night."
Okay, good night.
Night.